understand what became of past struggles. Now the records are still, but courage still lingers, giving strength to the land. And hunger for riches, for power, and for fame, by favor they think they will grow. The battles they fight, the victories they win, are never the victories they know. Men hunger for riches, for power, and for fame, by favor they think they will grow. The battles they fight, the victories they win, are never the victories they know. Brave were the people who lived in these hills, brave the great warriors who confronted the foe, to defend what is holy, to defend what is true. Our Lord of mankind did this duty bestow. Our Lord of mankind did this duty bestow.
It's a good thing to be able to shift your attention to whatever it is you have to do, whatever you're doing, whatever work you're doing, to be able to put your whole mind there so that you're incapable, in a sense, of doing anything else but that while you're doing it. And then as soon as you're through with that, stop it and do something else. Everything that you do with total concentration, total absorption. In that way, if you're centered within yourself and acting really from this center, then everything will flow in a natural way. You'll be as relaxed as you're likely to be. But if your mind is spread out over a large area, then you will be tense. You will be able, from this center, to go right or left or straight ahead, to do new things. You won't be constantly pulled by, oh dear, but I've got this to do, oh, those people are coming, oh, I've got to buy the groceries, oh this, oh that. And the mind gets so going in circles and yet is totally unproductive because it can't do anything well. If you can learn to be totally centered and then from that center to give yourself to whatever you've got to do, this is one of the great lessons to learn in the school of life, one of the great victories in the battle of life. Now, certain things will help. I was talking of concentration, of energy. But this also means relaxation from those things which would dilute that energy, which would distract it in different directions. Learning how to relax in that way means to be non-attached. Non-attached above all to the fruits of our actions. People think, this is the common criticism leveled even by scholars against the teaching in the Bhagavad Gita. What if I'm really non-attached to the fruits of my action, then presumably I won't act. Presumably I'll see no point in it. No, on the contrary, to be non-attached to the fruits of your actions, nishkam karma, desireless action, acting to do the best that you can, but letting the results take care of themselves, is really just a process of this centeredness that we're talking about. And it's one of the surest keys to success, because it means putting all your energy right here where you are, instead of half of your energy being there in the future and saying, oh, I hope that I do it well. You'll find that people who worry too much about how they're doing aren't going to do nearly as well as those who are really able to concentrate.
Good morning again and welcome, friends. I'd like to start with a brief reading from Autobiography of a Yogi, Master's getting his college degree. I'm sure you remember the story. It's quite amazing. One night, about 11 o'clock, as I was putting on my shoes in preparation for the ride to the boarding house, Master questioned me gravely, "When do your AB examinations start?" 5 days hence, sir. I hope you are in readiness for them. Transfixed with alarm, I held one shoe in the air. Sir, I protested, you know how my days have been passed with you rather than with the professors. How can I enact a farce by appearing for those difficult finals? Sri Yukteswar's eyes were turned piercingly on mine. You must appear. Just promise me that you will be present for the examinations. Answer them the best way you can. Uncontrollable tears were coursing down my face. I felt that Master's command was unreasonable and that his interest was, to say the least, belated. Mukunda, no, sir, I responded warmly. Grateful memories came in a revivifying flood. Not laziness, but burning zeal for God has prevented you from seeking college honors, my guru said kindly. After a silence, he quoted, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. For the 1000th time, I felt my burdens lifted in Master's presence. Does your friend Ramesh Chanda Dutt still live in the boarding house? Yes, sir. Get in touch with him. The Lord will inspire him to help you with the examinations. Cheer up, Mukunda. Sri Yukteswar's tones were light and unconcerned. He pointed to the blue vault of the heavens. It is more possible for the sun and moon to interchange their positions in space than it is for you to fail in getting your degree. And then when Master got his degree, he was bowing at his guru's feet, and Sri Yukteswarji said, get up, Mukunda, he said indulgently. The Lord simply found it more convenient to make you a graduate than to rearrange the sun and the moon. Isn't this an incredible story and so delightful? And there's major points here that, first of all, Swami Sri Yukteswarji assured him that the Guru's presence is ever there, but also that you have to work for it. Find your friend, study with him. And I think that there's so many times people worry, and they worry it's their own fault that they even think about or are needing to worry. They worry because they haven't prepared themselves. They're worried because if you worry about your health, and you sit on the couch all day, you should be worried about your health. Get up and do something. You're eating the wrong things. I'm worried. The doctor says I may have diabetes, whatever. Well, you cause it upon yourself. You're worried about your relationships with your relatives. Learn to behave. Get the right attitudes about things. If you're worried about not having enough money, find a job. Get a better job. It means to put out energy. So there's different points I want to bring out today on this topic. And the first is to start moving, get energy moving. I think so many people, they worry about their kids' exams. They worry about them if they're going to run a marathon. They worry about if they're going to get COVID. They worry about everything. Start doing positive things. Get up and get moving. And you'll find, Master said, if I needed a job, I would shake up the whole world to get a job. I would call people, write them, whatever it is to make it happen. And remember his words, the greater the will, the greater the flow of energy, the greater the flow of energy, the greater the magnetic flow, the greater the magnetism, the greater the inspiration, the ideas, the answers, the guidance that come to you. So most people are in a state of worry because they're lazy. They don't put out enough energy. And remember Master's also, his words also, that he said, it's my own but God-given will. I will reason, I will, I will act. And this means that for yoga and yoga, we've got to put out an enormous amount of energy, because tests will come to challenge you, to strengthen you, to make you stronger, to make you more clear, to make you more magnetic, to make you more happy in your life, more peaceful, whatever it is. So you can't cower back and say, oh, don't give me any tests. I don't, what's going to happen? Well, lots going to happen if you don't put out energy. So the first thing is to don't think, move, get moving, and do whatever you can. Remember, Swamiji had this big test that came to him and starting Ananda Village. There was one about the land he was about to purchase, and someone said, oh, Swamiji, let's just go have a cup of tea. You'll feel better. And he said, I don't want a cup of tea. I want to do something about it. And so instead of talking forever or thinking about it, get up and move. The second point is start early. Start as early as you can. If you have an exam, if you have an interview for a job, your kids have exams, whatever it is, start early. I see so many people, East and West, wait till the last minute, like Master here, and then they try to make it all happen. And I can say in my own studies, and I can't really say that I'm worried about anything. And maybe think about it right now, are you worried about something? People usually have a long list, but I had concerns, I say, about my Hindi classes, because as you know, I've been learning Hindi a long time. And I'm really getting to the point where I can speak for classes. So I had Hindi Kriya this past weekend in person, first time ever alone. And that could give a person cause to worry. But what did I do? I started months in advance. Actually, I started a year in advance, to tell you the truth, because I kept adding different parts of the Kriya. Every time I gave Kriya in Hindi online, I added Mahamudra, Jyotimaya, the various parts for those who know Kriya. And then I had only one part to add at the end, the inspirational talk. That took a lot of energy, but still I did it. And the affirmation of a yogi should be, I can, I will. Instead of, oh, it's too hard. It seemed easy, probably for the people there. This was very taxing to keep going over and over and over it until I had it in my mind. But I started early. And so don't wait till the 11th hour. I see so many people, can I give it to you late? Because I had this a long, long list of excuses, but still, you feel good. It comes at the last minute because you're so strong in yourself and centered and not always late. You'll probably be able to overcome it. The next is to have prayer and attunement to God and feel that Divine Mother, the masters are just coming. They're bringing their power into you, their Shakti into you. Pray with determination. Shake up the world with your prayers that God will be with you. And Master, but remember, you have to do your part. This one man said, well, Master, can I have your blessing? And Master said, listen, God's blessings there, my blessings there, your blessing is the blessings that's missing. So yes, pray and attune yourself. But remember that you have a big part of it to do yourself. One man, the disciple said to Master, I can't do a particular thing. He said, Master, you can do it. And Master said, the man said, because you're a master. Master said, what do you think made me a master? It was by doing. And so attune yourself to God's power that's flowing through you and let it emanate through you and destroy all the blocks that are in the way. Do your energization with full energy. Do walking in place, pranayama, when you're feeling kind of low on energy, you have to go in for an interview or whatever, and get yourself magnetic or strengthen your aura so that you can break through anything that's in your way. And the next is strong determination. Now, when I went to a very easy high school, all my schools were easy because they were in not a very good community. So I was a straight A student, and then I went up to a very difficult college, a university, because I was able to get in through a particular grant. And I thought, oh, well, it'd still be easy in college. Oh, come on, that was so hard. Let me tell you, I went to UC Berkeley. That nearly killed me. I got in that school the first quarter, I was flunking out. Don't tell that to many people. The first quarter, I had an F and on the midterm in physical anthropology. And I just thought, I just can't flunk out of school. I just got into school and I just had this determination that I was going to break anything that was going to stop me from getting an education. And I had one grant. I was working a job, a part-time job, 4 hours a day, and going to college, going to school. And I just kept in my mind, I kept saying, you can learn, you can learn, you can learn. And then I kept going to the class. A class had 500 people in it, one lecturer in the front on the stage, and I don't know what he was talking about, but I studied. I learned how to study, and I learned how to use will. And I wasn't on a path yet, but I think this was from past lives. And I went to the library. So I was part of the time in the class, part of the time at my job, and the rest of the time I was in the library. I hardly had any sleep, but I was not going to fail that class, no matter what. I studied and studied and studied. The test came, I was confident. I had studied everything. So what happened? I got an A. Can you believe that? F to A. And that night I was remembering, I was in the middle of the night, I remembered, oh my God, I didn't put my name on my paper. And I was just shaking because I just couldn't fail that course. And I remembered I wrote my paper in red ink. Now, whoever writes in red? Nobody. I never did, but Divine Mother had me write in red ink. I went to the TA's office, teacher's assistant, and I said, I forgot to put my name. I said, but my paper's in red ink. He had mountains of papers, and he found that paper and it had A on it. I said, that's my paper right there. And I worked that hard for 4 years to get out of that school with a degree. Now, that's not easy. People want life easy. Did I worry? I didn't worry. I worked. And when I got out of there, I said, I'm never going to study that hard again. My brain was on fire. Then a year later, I met Swamiji. When I met Swamiji, I've been studying ever since. And so for all of us, let us get worry aside. Remember when Master got Mount Washington, people said, oh, it's going to take you 3 years to get the money for that place. And he said, 3 years? For those who think 3 years. 3 months for those who think 3 months. And he got that place, and maybe they said 20 years. They said 20 years, and they said 3 years. Then he said 3 months for those who think 3 months. He needed that money in 3 months. Did he get it? He absolutely did. But he called people, he wrote people, he brought the students on the property, said, this is your place. And he said, I was battling with Divine Mother, asking her, how are you going to give me that money? And at the 11th hour, he had different donations, but at the 11th hour, Divine Mother showed him the face of the person, Mrs. Trask, who was going to give him the rest of the money. And she came and he said, we had the place. He said, the drama was over and the place was ours. Now, see, let us all work that hard in everything. And then the drama will be over, and whatever it is will be ours if it's meant to be. God and Gurus bless you. And now we have some questions. I'll ask Nitendra to join me on the screen.
नमस्ते ध्याना जी.
Namaste.
आज का पहला सवाल है.
बहुत अच्छा.
So the first one is, I worry all the time about everything. It makes me stressful and tense. How can I get rid of this tension And are there any practices that I can do?
Yes, okay. I would say for sure, I think a lot of people are tense. There's two big reasons. Lack of meditation is one, but two other big reasons. Exercise. Master, he was quite an athletic. I mean, he could outrun anybody. And then he would play tennis and he would kind of will the balls to go to different areas, but he was athletic and he was into that for a person to be fit. How fit are you? Get fit, walk, swim, jog, get a bicycle, whatever you can do, but keep the body fit. And that will get the tensions off. You can't just sit there and say, I'm tense, I'm stressful, what can I do? Or just, oh, I'm tense. It's not going to work. Get up and move the body. And then do Ananda Yoga. That will help you. Energize twice a day as you can. And you will start to release the tensions. Another thing is your diet. A lot of heavy, greasy foods, sweets are going to make you stressed and tense. And then the last thing I'll say, there's a list you could give here, but is don't be around negative people as much as possible. You say one thing, no, that's not going to happen. I saw that before. You tried that before. It didn't work before. No, don't do that. Just be around people who are positive. Talk to your teachers, your acharyas. Be in the Sangha. You come to a lecture like this and you say, I can do anything. You go sit with negative people. No, I can't do it. And then get something of masters. Look at this picture here. This book is a fabulous book. Read something every day from your guru, every day. Hear his voice, hear Swamiji's voice. They're just giving you a blessing. And get an affirmation. I'm brave, I'm strong. Perfume of success thoughts blows in me, blows in me. Get an affirmation like that and repeat it over and over and over until you are brave and strong. I am weak, I am tired. This doesn't work. I'm brave, I am strong. Put energy out. And you'll find that 75% of that's coming from God and gurus. You just open yourself to their power. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, Dhyanuji. Thank you so much. The next question is, what if God doesn't help me when I pray to him? Because sometimes it does feel that way.
Oh, come on. You don't really believe that, do you? I think it's us. God's power is always there, but you have to open the channel for God to come. You have to open your mind, open your consciousness for the ideas, the inspiration to flow. I remember once you all remember who were in Gurgaon, that Swamiji used to always say, because we were so comfortable beat him by 8 basement, he kept saying, get out of the basement, get a proper center, get out of the basement. And people would say, we like the basement, Swamiji. And he said, you're not going to reach anybody here, you're just hand holding here. And so I remember one day we needed to get a place and we got it. One place fell through, and the very next day we got the place that we have now in the Phase 2 Community Center. But that was through a lot of power, a lot of will, a lot of prayer. I remember a house, Swamiji needed a house. The place he was in wasn't working. He said, I just can't stay. I drove down the street and I wanted him to live near the center. And I just kept praying, I know there's a house. I know there's a house. I just know there's this house. And then right away, within about 5 minutes, I saw a sign for a house. I went in, that was the house. So most people have so many doubts and there's so many blocks in your mind. Just clear those out through powerful affirmations, Master's voice, Swamiji's voice, readings, work your body, all those things. And you will find that God is always there. He doesn't sleep. We're the ones who are sleepy, drowsy, low energy, but God's power is there. You have to tune into it.
Thank you, Dhyanuji. There are 2 more questions.
Okay.
The first one is, how can I strengthen my determination and perseverance? I tend to give up easily.
Yeah. I think a lot of people fail because they give up easily. And just say giving up, when you fail, get up. If it doesn't work, get up and keep moving. Master said the greatest time of success is the time when you feel like you failed. Just keep getting up and keep moving. You know, one of the most important things, though, I say again, your company. Be with good people. Be with people who love God. Be with people who are courageous. Be with people who say, yes, I can, I will. Be with the right company. And even when you read the movies you watch, the programs you watch, don't watch heavy things that bring you down. Watch everything that you bring into your consciousness, and then fight, persevere, keep moving. Something's not working, say, no, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. I won't give up. And then you find Divine Mother's hand comes there and she helps you. I've seen it so many times in my life and other people's lives. You have to work at it. You can't assume on God. I think that's the point.
Charanji, we have a live question as well, which is sometimes not worrying is perceived as being careless. How would you distinguish between these two?
Yeah, that's not the point here. I mean, you can say, I'm not worried about anything. I don't worry about anything. And then your car's banged and you can't pay your rent and you can't. I mean, during the hippie time, which I came just a little bit after that, that was the vibe. No, we're all flower children. You know, nothing's going to happen. And everything was happening. That's not what we're discussing here. So you have to put out energy. Have I not been saying? Greater the will, greater the flow of energy. Put out energy and cancel the worries. Don't just say, an affirmation that's not an affirmation, I'm not worried. No, put out energy. I'm not saying to be lame, passive, lack of energy. That's not a yogi. A yogi has full force power. So develop that and you will find that it's easier for you to get anything accomplished. Finally.
Yeah, the last question is, I try not to worry, but others around me are worried all the time, and that does affect me. So what can I do?
Now, let me get clear on this point with you. I know here people are around a lot of people a lot. You have to have time alone. Even if you get up early to have time alone, or you stay up late to have time alone. I'm going for a seclusion for a few days now. Why? I need to go. I need to be with God alone. I need to meditate more. I need to study the teachings. I need the time to be with God and gurus. You have to have that kind of time. And however you figure it out, you can't make an excuse. Do half a day, do one day, do a weekend, do a week, but you have to have the time when there's nobody around. And let everybody has their own karma. And so let people work out you don't have to work out all your relatives' karma. Work out your own. You got enough on your plate. Help people as best as you can. And what I found is I can help people the most if I'm centered in myself, if I have God in my heart, if I have Guruji with me. I can help so many more people. So don't aim for going out and trying to fix everybody. And you have to have the time by yourself. And we come into this world alone and we leave this world alone. Divine Mother helps us along the way with friends, with loved ones, with relatives. But the final analysis, you leave on your own with God alone. And it's a beautiful thought. Master said, when you leave this earth, if you've kept strong to the end, he said, I or one of the masters will be there to greet you at the end. And so think of that and forget this world. You have to have times when you forget the world, not, okay, I get a message. Leave it. At least you have to leave it for some time, even if it's 3 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock, you have to figure it out. But don't be so attached, as Swamiji was saying, attached really to this world, to the people, to the situations, because as we know, it's a dream. The dream will break soon. And when it breaks, we want to be free. God bless you all. Thank you, Nitendra.